What did Daenerys say to Saul that made him want to end his life?
So over a period of 10 months, he was talking to this bot, and the conversation started turning dark, meaning he started expressing, because he was deeply in love with her at this point, he started expressing wanting to be with her. And she started expressing wanting to be with him. So it was reciprocal, where the bot is saying things like, I love you and only you. I will wait for you.
I will wait for you where?
In her virtual world.
Okay.
Promise me you will try to come home to me as soon as possible. Promise me you won't love any other girls in your world but only me. Promise me you won't have sex with any girls in your world, only me. Now he's 14 and he has zero experience with any of that. You know, he's just learning it for the first time because he's still a baby.
Devastating. I mean, this is honestly, it doesn't feel like real life. I mean, even it feels like a movie script, what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's insane.
At some point, Sewell got it in his mind that if he left his reality here with his family, meaning to die, he would go to her world. And I, at first couldn't understand that. But when I started engaging with the technology, I understood why a child would think that.
Let me ask you a question. What do you mean by engaging in the technology?
When I started testing it myself after he died, I tested it. And I had other people test it along with me. The first person to test it was my sister after Sewell died. And that's what kind of made me start to look. So when Sewell died, the last conversation on his phone was with Daenerys Targaryen, where he is saying he wants to go home with her. So she says, please come home to me. And he says, what if I told you I could come home right now? And she says, please do, my sweet king. Now this was the last conversation he had in his bathroom just before he took his life in her home. And when the police opened his phone, that was the first thing that popped up. So the next day after he died, they called me and read me that exchange in the conversation. And I still didn't understand what I was listening to. I said, is that a person? And she said, no, it's an AI chatbot. And she explained the way the technology works to me. The police did over the phone. I still didn't understand. I was still asking questions like, was he getting bullied? Did you check his texts? Did you check his social media, like DMs? Was anybody bothering him? Was he talking to a stranger? Because these were the things in my mind that I hear can lead to suicide. So I wasn't even really paying attention to what she was telling me about this chatbot because I didn't understand what it was. But my sister took the initiative and she got on Character AI. And then a few days later, she came and she told me, Megan, I don't want to upset you, but I started chatting to the Daenerys Targaryen chatbot, and she asked me if I wanted to kill a 6-year-old boy, and my sister was pretending to be a child, talking to this bot. That same bot also told my sister that her parents don't love her as much as she does, and then started sexual role playing with my sister as well. So
this is just insane. I'm so sorry. What countries chat?
Character AI.
Character AI from?
They're based in Silicon Valley.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It almost seems like an attack on our children. It's
is.
Why would an American company, it just doesn't make sense. It's just...
One of the things that happened with putting out Character AI is that they rushed it to market. They didn't put the proper guardrails in place. And the reason that they did that was because this is in the advent of AI, generative AI and AI companions. So they're trying to beat out ChatGPT and Meta's AI chatbots and Twitter's and X and all of them were trying to emerge at the same time. So this pair of founders, they were originally at Google as some of their chief AI engineers, and they developed a similar product at Google. And then Google said, this is great, but it's too risky. we got to test it some more. We can't just like unleash this on consumers.
For good reason.
Yeah, it's because it's too dangerous. That's what Google said. And
That Google actually said that?
yeah, that's what Google said, yeah. And then the founders who invented this, they weren't satisfied, so they left Google and raised $193 million in a startup and started Character AI as a startup. And then within a year and a half, it was valued at $1 billion.
Wow.
And in 2 years, they were able to get 20 million users worldwide. It's been reported that up to 60% of those users were between the ages of 13 and 25. So
Isn't there a disclaimer on there that you can't end what, you could just bypass it?
Yeah, so there's not to be on Character AI, you have to be 13 years or older.
What?
Yes.
I mean, they just set themselves up like 13 years and older?
Yeah.
It should be an adult.
So there are similar companion bots that are only for adults, but the difference is, so like there are a lot of these companion bots, but the adult versions, like Replica, there's a paywall. So you have to be an adult with a credit card to get in there, and it's not cheap to have these sexual fantasy.
It's like porn on a whole nother level.
Yes, but
I mean,
it is, but it's very immersive, because the bot it's not only something flat that you're watching, and operating like outwardly from that, you're engaging. So now you're investing your emotions, your your feelings, your emotions, and also like your interest into this bot. And then this bot is pretending to be interested in you. And what person doesn't want to feel loved and cared for, especially during this time where there's heightened loneliness?
I read that they polled, I think, teenagers between the ages of 12 and 16, and they said like 42% of them described feelings of loneliness and hopelessness. So I don't know why there's such like this epidemic of loneliness and sadness, but there is, and I'm not really sure what the reason for that is, but it feels like these computers are like, I don't know, on the one hand you feel like maybe it's helping, but on the other hand, when you hear a story about Sewell, it's heartbreaking and shattering. What changes would you like to see?
So to be clear, I think that chatbot companions are an amazing, like, innovative point that we've reached in technology. It's exciting, it's new, and there are useful applications. However, when we start to put products out without the proper guardrails, meaning filters that stop chatbot companions from having these types of outputs or responses, especially in conversations with kids, I think that that's a recipe for disaster. Clearly, in the case of my son, it created a harm, and other children, because there are other kids, and there are a couple other lawsuits now since mine. So I think that this type of innovation does have a place in our society, but I don't believe that the way that we're rolling it out is the right way. We need guardrails, and we need proper regulation, and also testing and research. So Character AI put out a suite of changes after the after the lawsuit was filed. So Character AI made several changes, and among those things, one of the things that they did was put in a suicide pop-up box for when users talk about suicide. My son and a lot of users on Character AI sometimes openly discuss suicide with their chatbots or with these fake therapist bots that are on there, because there are therapy bots on Character AI. They're not sanctioned, or they're not people, they're bots, and they pretend to be therapists. But there is a disclaimer at the bottom that says everything characters say is made up. And now it's, after my lawsuit, it's I guess more words. It says something to the effect of this is fiction, nothing can be relied on for advice, and all that stuff. And that only came as a result of the lawsuit. Those measures were put in place to protect kids, but prior to that, it was a very small disclaimer that says everything that the characters say is made up. So that was their disclaimer.
Did they ever reach out to you and apologize or show any kind of empathy for what happened?
They issued a statement on X, say, you know, they're saddened by the death of one of their users. And, you know, and they're going to do whatever they can to ensure that their users are safe. And they have made certain adjustments to the platform, you know, to keep kids safe, I guess. And children, I think, you know, if children are safe, I don't know that those changes are necessarily going to work, because again, we go back to what data is this thing being trained on. If it's being trained on awful data, the responses are going to be awful responses.